All right, and we are going live, and we should be live any second now. And move over, kids. How are you today? You will notice there are now two dads on the screen. Devin, you had your child whose name is
Willow.
Willow. That's a cool name. Named after Buffy the Vampire's best friend, correct?
No, but
the Val Kilmer movie. You know,
right, the Val Kilmer movie.
Warwick Davis Val Kilmer movie. Clearly.
Well, congratulations, my friend. It's nice to be not the only dad in the room now. So now you can say "move over, kids" because you're officially a dad. But what's up, guys? The big news is the Switch OLED, but I would like to just get a checkup on you guys. What's up? What's going on? Anything new? David?
Not much, man. We're just trying to recover from the groundbreaking announcement that Nintendo made on Tuesday.
Yep.
Groundbreaking's a little far.
Well, you catch my sarcasm, right?
Yeah.
It's groundbreaking for someone who hasn't bought into the Switch ecosystem yet, but
there's 4 people.
I actually know somebody. I'm like notorious for talking to people. If I hang out with someone, hey, Veronica Castillo, the mom of the podcast. Hello, how are you? Devin had a child actually.
Hi, Mom.
Mom. So, anyways, I'm notorious for getting people to buy Switches or Nintendo products. Like hey, Fish Fan, haven't seen you in a minute. I've gotten like tons of people to buy Wii's, and I've gotten like 3 people to get Wii U's, and so the Wii U did not fail because of lack of trying on my part. Let's just say that. But the Switch, I recently got someone to buy into the Switch, but I told them just wait till E3 because Nintendo might do an announcement. So E3 happened, and then he was like, oh, I guess I'm going to get a Switch. I was like, wait. Just wait a little bit longer. He's like, I thought you said to E3. I was like, okay, I did say E3, but I actually meant to say end of August because last time there was the Switch Lite, they announced it after E3, and I thought they might do that again, and they did, but they didn't because this isn't really a hardware upgrade, but it is, right? Like, who wants to talk about it?
David, you probably know more about it anyway.
Man, to be honest, I don't know the specifics. I just know that it seems to be, by and large, the same internals. Probably the main difference that I'm seeing is that and what I'm excited about is that the dock has a dedicated proprietary LAN port.
So there's 3 main differences in this from the regular model. David just hit on one of them, which is the Ethernet port. The other is, of course, the OLED screen. What they're leading with. And then the next one is 64 gigabytes of storage, which is still kind of a joke. Bucket. Yeah, like that should have been 128, honestly, at the bare minimum. But
even 128 people, I'd be scoffing at that when you consider.
People would be scoffing, but I personally think that would be okay for a place to start with the Switch. Yeah, and I think it's okay to like that's not a necessary. You have to go buy an SD upgrade right away.
All right, so let's
forget
the memory. Nintendo has never been good about that. But
forget the memory.
But let's we'll talk the Ethernet port because that was one of my things when I said a lot of things. I was always like, the Switch Pro, I just want an Ethernet port, and they got us one. So, but I don't know. Now that honestly, here. I've got a $15 one that's not even a Nintendo official, and it works just fine. I get it. It's kind of lame that it's 2021 and we still need this for, the old Switch model, but I don't really care. You ever see that guy on Facebook or TikTok that there's these TikTok hacks, but they're really more trouble than they're worth, and then you see this this dude, he just goes.
Oh yeah, that's one of the most famous guys on TikTok.
Yeah, right, well, that's what it's like. The Ethernet port is just $15 for this instead of $350 for a new model.
It just depends how you look at it. If you're looking for Like, do you guys remember how that setup for the Wii U was? How cumbersome it was? I mean, like taking it every weekend at my cousin's house and playing Smash. It was like you had the sensor bar, you had the charger for the power for the gamepad that needed to be charged to turn on the Wii U. Then you had the power brick, you had the HDMI cord, and it seemed like it was just Wii installation but on steroids.
Yeah.
And
I like the Switch though because I have a case like this and it carries everything to be able to do it.
And so, yeah, that's the cool thing about the Switch is that it's a lot less of that. And if you're looking at a full Smash setup, which is both of the USB ports on the side are used by, now if you're a purist like me with Smash, is that you use the GameCube controller adapter. So 2 USB ports taken up, one for Rumble, one for power. And then you had, obviously, your power and your HDMI. Those are taken up. And then the USB that occupies the dongle that you have is now switched out to just be proprietary LAN. So you, depending on how you look at it, you lose a USB port if you don't really care about LAN stuff, right? Because it's really like taken 1-to-1. It's switched out 1-to-1. For me, it's a godsend because you just plug it in straight to the dock and you don't have to worry about a clunky dongle.
Okay, so you have an old Switch, you have a Switch Lite. Is an Ethernet port worth it?
If they sell the dock separately, yes.
If they don't,
I don't think so because I don't play it. I don't play it portable really. I have my Switch Lite is that.
I do want to throw in the thing that might get me with an OLED model is if they make a Switch Lite OLED. I was like, that might be how you get me again. Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's like I love like the Vita. Like this is the final death knell in the Vita coffin. Like after the 50 that's been hammered into place already.
Yeah,
like,
and
the one thing that that Vita had over the Switch.
the final nail, JB, is Persona 4 Golden on Switch.
Excuse me.
Oh god,
yeah. That will be the final one
for sure. But
Alberto says he ain't getting one because of the Joy-Con drift is still the same.
But is that's I mean, are we confirmed with the insides of the Joy-Cons yet?
No, but like here's the deal. Like Nintendo has, other than Labo of all things, Nintendo has said that nothing changes. Video games will not know a difference. The only thing that changes is for Labo, and that's because the screen is actually like an inch bigger or something like that. So if you're trying to put the OLED Switch into, like, you know, the visor of the cardboard doesn't like fit. So of all things, that's the thing that Nintendo has put a warning on. But for the most part, from what I'm gathering, from what I'm hearing, from all the stuff that's going around, video games will not know the difference between an OLED and a other one. There is a development kit out there that people were thinking like, oh wow, this development kit's different because it was double the amount of gigabytes. It was like either, you know, the old Switch development kit had 4 and the new one for the OLED screen had 8. And so people were like, oh, maybe this is it. But in reality, it's just like the development kit just had like bigger stuff. So for the most part, no, I highly doubt those Joy-Cons are going to be different. Yeah. But you never know. I mean, maybe they would be. I mean, because the Nintendo Switch already has had an upgrade. It just was such a insignificant upgrade. It was just like the battery life was better or something like that. It wasn't like Switch Pro worthy. They didn't even announce that upgrade. They just said, okay, we're switching to this new box that is going to have a different,
slightly new model that had a slightly different board, but not anything that actually, other than battery life, was significantly different for the consumer.
Yeah. So, like, for this one, it's literally, like, it's all about handheld. Other than that, there's nothing really fancy about this.
That dock is pretty.
It is.
The dock would look pretty cool.
That dock will look really nice next to a PS5.
But, again, is a dock what we're buying the Nintendo Switch for? Devin, you're the one that buys everything Nintendo. Like,
Devin, you're the
are
guy
you getting
excited
this?
about this
Come
and
out with
ready.
a special edition like this thing. No, I'm not coming anywhere near it.
You're not getting
Okay,
it.
okay, Ken, but the same coin though. You get a Breath of the Wild specific OLED Switch with like a Triforce logo on it. You're gonna no matter what.
No
You're
matter
gonna get
what.
that dog.
Like, just like they can release. They can, but here's that doesn't count though because
That thing's beautiful. If they had the OLED Switch do that, yeah.
yeah. But here's the thing: are you gonna even open that though?
Maybe,
Devin.
maybe not. I don't know.
But if it's so beautiful, but you don't know it's beauty because you've locked it away.
You locked it away.
Where's your collection, Ken? What have you not
like
opened?
Kid doing like high school debate and just arguing what he actually supports.
Right, he's projecting.
I'm not
man.
saying it's bad. I'm just saying you don't know how beautiful it is. All you've seen is a picture of its beauty. Like
All I'm saying is you're a liar, sir. You are a liar.
Like we don't really know how beautiful the Mona Lisa smile was. All we see is a picture of it. But the
I mean, all I see is a picture of David, but I assume he's beautiful. I mean, look at that guy. Look right there.
but to answer your question, yes. But here's the thing: Miyamoto himself could take a crap and then put a Zelda logo on that, and I'd buy that too. You know, like
Thanks for the picture. Yeah,
You need to talk to some people.
I think Steve can hook you up, man.
right, Steve.
Probably.
Steve will have inside info with Miyamoto, his bowel movements.
Come on, Pesty, where you at?
I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna buy a Zelda anything. So, like, take away the Zelda component, then am I gonna buy it? No. Now, if I had a choice, if I didn't have a Switch, then I would buy the OLED model. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy an OLED model if I had to choose.
I will say I don't plan to buy this. Now, of course, we could get there and I get like FOMO. I've seen me do that. But I'm excited for this because I feel like it demonstrates a commitment to the Switch hardware.
Yeah.
I think this means the life of the Switch is definitely 2, if not 3 more years.
I mean, it shows that Nintendo doesn't see a need for any type of graphical fidelity our way. Like if they, I mean, let's just hope Breath of the Wild 2 runs just as well as Breath of the Wild 1, right? Because Hyrule Warriors, man, I'm not trying to knock Nintendo. I love Nintendo as much as Devin. Probably not as much, maybe, but and I love Zelda, but probably not as much as Ken. Age of Calamity was rough. It was rough. Even in those like really intense parts. Yeah. And so even something, a little bit of room to breathe, to make a game like that run a little bit better would have been nice. But then again, it's like, do you alienate the install base? You know, you don't want to create a new 3DS situation where it has like what were the 2 main games that ran 4?
I think there were 4 games. There's like Runbow,
Xenoblade.
I mean, the thing that launched with Xenoblade, which that while it's great running, like it's way too small of a screen for that game. Minecraft required it, and then the Fire Emblem Heroes, and then really it should have been exclusive. Hyrule
Warriors said it was best on the other one, but wasn't required.
But but it really didn't run on the old models.
So do you think
and Super Nintendo games online?
I'll just go around the panel.
Hello,
How
Hunter.
long do you think the Switch brand will exist for? Like, do you think it's going to go 10 years?
When
Like,
we say Switch brand, are we talking like
the ecosystem? Switch Lite, base Switch, OLED Switch.
Yeah.
Like,
do you count?
Does
so
a
when you
Switch?
say when you say ecosystem, like, do you mean like? I mean, because technically the ecosystem for the 3DS is still going on. But they're not. Are you talking like manufacturing of new games, or until they replace it with a new thing?
Yeah, until it's replaced to the next generation.
Does a Switch Pro constitute a new, like, would that be part of the ecosystem? Like, is the new 3DS part of the 3DS ecosystem, or is the new 3DS separate?
I would count it as the same.
Okay, so a Switch Pro then would
A
kind of
Switch Pro would be part of the ecosystem. Yes.
I can't imagine they're going to release a Switch Pro at this
Yeah,
point.
at this point, now that they did the OLED,
I mean, that I think would just be detrimental to the brand.
Yeah, and they
Where
this
are we
is
at,
pretty
5
much.
years? Are we at 5 years right now?
It will be 5 years.
It'll be 5. It's coming up
in March.
I remember now. How do you say his name?
Furukawa.
Furukawa. I remember him saying, now it was either him or the guy who was like in place after
Yoshikawa?
Yeah, but
The
he was
interim.
but he was like, he even said, "I'm only here for a minute." But one of them said that the Switch was going to be around for longer than usual, and longer than usual implies more than 7 years.
I mean,
And-
I've heard the number 10 being thrown around, but that seems kind of long to me.
It does seem long
For me,
but-
yeah.
I feel like that's going to alienate a lot of third-party support that wants to multi-platform stuff.
Yeah, but with the way indie developers are, could Nintendo Switch still thrive on just first party and indie developers?
They can thrive off of their IPs, their in-house IPs. They
Now,
did
they have, but the problem is their IPs, like Nintendo doesn't just, crap out a bunch of Assassin's Creeds. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, there will not be a third Zelda game on the Switch. There will not be 3 Mario games. There won't even be 3 Mario Kart games, which in theory you would think is a very easy thing to replicate, a Mario Switch game or a Mario Kart game. There won't even be 2 golf games, Mario golf games.
Well, it's been 17 years since the last mainline one.
So, but what I'm saying is Nintendo does leverage their first party games to get you to buy their system, but they don't leverage their first party games as sequels on the same generation. Does that make sense?
Anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, anymore. I mean, the NES did it, kind of. I mean, for the really popular ones, but I mean, there wasn't 2 Metroids on the NES even. There wasn't 2 Kid Icaruses. It was just Zelda and Mario, but nothing else gets a sequel. Now, Splatoon is, which is a little unique.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't see Metroid 6 on the Switch in 4 years. I don't see Zelda 3.
There's a reason you wouldn't see Metroid 6 on the Switch. That's hard to say. Because by the time Metroid 6 would come out, we'll be gone. We'll be dead.
Pretty much.
Like that.
Maybe Devin or David will be in his 40s at that point, but
But there's something that I noticed. You notice how they picked white and black for the colors of the OLED Switch, and it comes out the exact same day as Metroid Dread.
the white one's going to sell more.
It looks like EMMI, the robot that's chasing her.
Yeah. That's
It's
kind of
almost
like a cool...
Right there.
That's also another thing that really shows a support for Metroid 6 or 5, Metroid 5. That really shows like the fact that they're seeing that as their tentpole release this year. That's
I still think...
I have a feeling that's actually going to sell some OLED Switches for sure. For sure.
Despite how well Metroid Dread has been selling out, like collector's editions and even the base game, it kind of shows that people are underestimating Dread. Like, I know Prime is what everybody wants, but Dread, like, it's gonna be that type of title people are saying the same thing about Samus Returns on the 3DS. How it was lukewarm and it was like not what people wanted, but people are actually going back and revisiting the title, and it's a great game.
it is. But and hello from Seattle, Hunter. It only sold about 590,000.
yeah.
Which isn't that much, especially considering the install base of the 3DS.
I think this one's going to be a million. I think
this is going to be a 10 million seller, but I will say I think it's also going to benefit from this is kind of a dry year.
yeah.
Like there's people. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about it. Got my collector's edition pre-ordered. I do think it's going to be the highest selling Metroid game of all time, which is three. It has to cross 3 million for that.
I think the two big titles for this year. I don't think we're gonna have a big holiday title like a first party title. It's gonna be Dread and Shin Megami Tensei. Those are the two titles for the end of the year.
I think, like, I'm with you on your love for that, but I think Shin Megami Tensei is going to still kind of be the cult release. I mean, we do have a Pokemon remake coming. I think that
the Pokemon
might.
game. Like,
I forgot about.
I don't even
Diamond
really
and
consider
Pearl.
that. Like, I almost consider Pokemon third party for some reason. You know,
Well, I will say 5 will be the best and most prominent release from Atlas on Nintendo.
I think it's going to have the Switch effect for it. I think it will sell better than it has. But I mean, Shin Megami, I don't think it's going to bust out of cult status.
I think a lot of people are going to buy it and not like it. That's what I think is going to happen.
No, I think it's gonna be good. I really do think it's gonna be good. I was looking at some of the gameplay, and it really adopts from Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And that game, I didn't think it was gonna get a port.
Oh, I was talking
I'm
about
being
Metroid,
honest.
not Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have hope. I have hope that game, and I really hope that it does break into the mainstream. You know, like it can do Persona numbers. So, we'll see.
I want you to be right. I want you to.
I want to be right.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we're in agreement. Like, you're going through David's opinion.
Yeah, I want you to be right too, I guess. Like, I didn't really have an opinion up until now.
I mean, who wants me to be wrong that that Zelda's gonna come out this? I'm just kidding, Ken. I'm trying to mess with you, dude.
Yeah, you're about to. You're about to. So we're all just not gonna get it then.
Get what?
The OLED.
The OLED. I'm gonna say if they sell the dock separately, it's a day one for me.
The dock, but
The
not
dock.
the,
But not
not
the
the
system.
screen.
No, because I really want to respect my Switch Lite right now.
Okay.
It's kind of giving me the side eye right now, like don't you dare, you know? Like,
Do you think this is better than the Switch Lite though?
yeah, but I'm a big fan of the toy factor that the 3DS, the new 3DS has a little nub on the right, and it's got the changing face plates. I feel like it's just kind of like perfect for me. The LED, I don't think it. What's up?
What are you talking about specifically? The Switch Lite?
The Switch Lite.
Is the OLED better than the Switch Lite?
It has a better screen, if that's what you're asking. But
No, I'm asking overall, is it better?
It doesn't sell me to replace my Switch Lite. No.
Yeah, I think as someone who plays the Switch Lite and is more of a portable guy with their Switch, I think the Switch Lite's still a better portable system.
The
Why?
form factor,
It
the
looks
form
better.
factor. It's the Switch Lite form factor. It's
Form factor.
all one thing. I've taken my Switch everywhere, like out of the country, and it's served its purpose. But something about it, it's like the support on the Joy-Cons to the screen. I'm gonna say you can kind of feel the wobble a little bit. And the fact that the Switch Lite is one form factor and it fits really well, it just works for me. So
Like I would be more excited if it was Switch Lite OLED. That might actually be a day one purchase if it was a Switch Lite OLED. Especially if they did another Pokemon special one.
Somehow,
Pokemon special one?
Yeah, there was a Pokemon Sword and Shield Switch Lite, which is what I've got.
Zamazenta and Zacian.
Yeah, what David said, those names.
Devin, I thought you had that one.
No.
Did you have it for a little bit and sold it or something?
I've never had a Switch Lite.
Okay.
I've only ever had the normal one, and I
You think-
currently use the Animal Crossing Switch.
Do you think you'll buy into the Switch Lite? Are you waiting for like a specific one?
No, I mean, unless they made a special edition that I thought was really pretty, is the only real reason that I would.
Like Luigi Green, you're there day one.
Yeah, yeah. believe me.
Nice.
Like,
Dude,
I'm a little pissed that they just made Mario and didn't make Luigi.
if they announced a special edition Luigi Switch, there'd be a dust cloud from Devin. Like,
Yeah, gone. That is for sure. I can't help myself. Both of my cases are Luigi based, for God's sake.
Hunter's a big Luigi fan, by the way.
He's great.
It's because of the little brother syndrome. You're a little brother, right?
Yeah, I am, but
All little brothers like Luigi because they had to be player 2.
I guess. I don't know. My brother wasn't that much of a jerk. He would just let me play the console.
Yeah, but you were still player 2, weren't you?
No, like he didn't always do that.
No, well.
I just liked Luigi because of the way he would jump in Super Mario 2.
Super Mario 2 is such a great game.
It is.
Like I had it. So I've been at Southeast Game Exchange and just people talking about it. Like I was like, yeah, that was a brilliant game. Like,
Which game?
Super. I was about to say Sonic 2. Super Mario Brothers 2.
Where you
Doki Doki
pick
Panic.
between him, Mario, Peach, and Toad.
Peach Lake. I actually, when I got my Nintendo as a kid, I wanted that game over. And I think Super Mario Brothers 3 was out. I wanted that more than I wanted Super Mario Brothers 3 because you could pick the character you played as.
The assets. So, Doki Doki Panic. The assets of that game. What remained in Mario Brothers 2? Is that a question for you guys? Like,
It's just the same exact game, except for they just switched out the main characters with.
So the little bird on the magic carpet, like that was part of Doki Doki.
Every single thing is Doki Doki Panic.
Birdo,
Shy Guys, Birdo,
everything.
Yeah, that's all Doki Doki.
So
Yeah.
Shy Guys were introduced in Mario 2, right?
Yep.
So Doki Doki was what? This was an IP owned by Nintendo?
Wasn't it like a radio station? Like it was DJs from a radio station, if I remember correctly.
I never heard that. I guess I don't know as much about it as. Oh, Pesty's here. We were talking about it earlier.
I don't understand. I don't understand
how it came into existence.
What it became, like how it became like it went from Doki Doki to Mario. Why did Nintendo make that decision? That's my question.
Oh, that I can explain.
Okay.
So Super Mario: The Lost Levels, which is Super Mario 2, the main tester in America got a hold of it and was like, "This is too hard." Because all Super Mario 2: The Lost Levels was like World 9 Level 1. Like it just was the next set of levels and was ramped up. The difficulty was there from the get go. And he's like, "This is going to lose American audience. Not necessarily that it's hard, but it just like it." It only is there for the elite players. Like it just like it's not going to bring anyone new, and it's going to lose more people. And so Nintendo's like, okay, well we got it. This Mario thing seems pretty hot. What else we got? And we've got this Doki Doki Panic game. There's elements of jumping. Yeah, there's kind of a Mario-esque feeling here. We've got side characters. You know, we've got a Luigi. We've got that Toad thing we've thrown in at the end of the castle. That are at the fake castles, and we got the princess. We can make sprites, swap those out, and go from there. We're not going to release this Doki Doki Panic game in the States, so
Nintendo essentially like consolidated assets of an existing game.
Yeah, they basically just took the game and switched those sprite work out.
Okay.
And I don't know why I thought it was connected to a radio station. It is not. It has a kind of Middle Eastern vibe to it.
Yeah, it looks like. Do you guys remember the Tom and Jerry cartoons that were produced like not in the United States? And it has kind of like jank animations where it's like I think it was an Eastern European studio, and it was like the stuff that would play at 3 a.m. on Boomerang, the Tom and Jerry episodes. Am I ringing any bells here for you guys?
I know that there are Tom and Jerry episodes that were produced outside the country. Which ones they are, I do not. But I will say I'm old enough that I remember when those were 3 a.m. Cartoon Network and not the Boomerang.
Well, I remember the Cartoon Network as well. But my question is it akin to that? Because you said it has a Middle Eastern vibe in terms of like Sarasasa Castle was like Daisy is involved in it, right? Like that was a level of Super Mario Brothers 2, right? And the architecture of that castle is very Middle Eastern vibe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's flying carpets.
Flying carpets, yeah.
Yeah. If you find it, like I'm looking at a screenshot of the box art, like the main characters that Mario and Luigi replaced are wearing turbans. The women characters appear to be covered with It doesn't look like a job, but it definitely like one of them has puffy pants, kind of Shantae style. So yeah, those characters look like that. And then I mean, you see this now in the fan community. It was essentially a ROM hack.
That's where I'm kind of getting at. Is like
it was a very early. It was the quickest way they could get a Super Mario 2 to the States and not release Lost Levels, because Lost Levels. And I think it was the right call completely. I think Mario might have died if they had released Lost Levels 2.
Now, is the team that was behind the original Doki Doki?
The collector connoisseur knows exactly what you're talking about in regards to the Tom and Jerry that you're talking about, David, and that is Christian Sims. Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Nice. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Christian.
So I don't know if you know more information. I'm just so intrigued by this. Is it a similar situation with the original Doki Doki Panic development team, where it was just like a fan development team that was just like making like an unknown game, and Nintendo was like, hey, we're gonna they essentially gave it like the Sonic Mania treatment, where like Sega was like, hey, make a Sonic game for us. Was it like that?
No, it was Nintendo published it. The development, I'm not sure exactly. I'll have to look up who developed. It was with, it was in connection with a television network, so it might have been a TV show in Japan that Nintendo, worked with and paid this company X amount to get. But it was a very early on disc system game. But I'm gonna have to research the history a bit more to give you to go.
What the heck? Hey, hang on a second. Why did this just end? If you guys can hear me, hang on a second. What the heck? Return to home screen. No one can join this meeting unless invited by a host. Don't leave, guys. Okay. Give me a second. Let me figure this out. Okay, let me see if I can get... Hang on, nobody leave. We're figuring this out. We can still hear Ken. I will stay. Yep, okay. This is the Ken show now. Let's see if we get people to join the new one. Where are we at? All right. We've got a couple people. We're going to re-enter. And now the show will continue.
There we go.
It was so weird.
Yeah, we just disappeared.
No, I saw what happened in the lower right corner. I saw for a brief second, it said, this call is about to end. And then it just literally, there was like this little timer that went like 15 seconds and then boom, it was over. So I don't know. And then everything just disconnected.
I'm not sure what happened either, because I was just looking at another window and all of a sudden just boop, everything stopped talking.
Are we still live?
Yes, we are. Everyone heard me. Oh, wait, look. Enjoy longer group calls. Free group calls are limited to 1 hour upgrade.
They have changed the meeting thing.
Yeah, so...
We can discuss this later. We've got a workaround.
Okay. Let's discuss later.
Yeah, but they have clearly set their meeting times at an hour, because we started this group chat an hour ago.
Yeah,
okay. So you guys know how I am about lore, and there's always has to be like some very deep-rooted reason for everything, and it's annoying, and I get it. But let's go back to this Doki Doki thing. Okay?
It's annoying. It's just that you expect me to us to have answers that we don't know.
I'm all about lore too, dude. I'm all about lore.
What else do big brothers do to little brothers?
I have not done my master's thesis on Doki Doki Panic yet.
Get to it, man.
Didn't know we were going there tonight. I should have
always be prepared for a Doki Doki Panic conversation.
We're gonna end up talking about food, so just be ready, okay? All right. So the company that did Tatsunoko in Japan, I think it's called Nippon something. They also did like Speed Racer and some of like the early studio Ghibli stuff. I think before Hayao Miyazaki was there, a lot of those things were distributed like to the Middle East. I was talking to my friend from Iraq, actually my coworker, and she mentioned that she watched this anime because I talked about anime all the time, and she showed me. Yeah,
I'm shocked. I didn't realize you were into anime. My bad. Keep going.
and when I looked into it, this cartoon was called. Gosh, I forgot how it was translated, but this was under the Nippon brand I'm talking about. So, is it possible that Japan had some type of like Middle Eastern investment, right, where they had to produce shows that would only be broadcasted there, thus tying into like the Doki Doki aesthetic because Japan knew that they had an audience in the Middle East?
I don't know. It seems like this was pretty much for a Japan only release at that point in time. I'm not sure how far the system, where they had distributed the system yet. I will say Shigeru Miyamoto consulted on this project. And so it started out, so I'm just reading off the research I can find really quickly. The Doki Doki Panic engine started as a Mario-style tech demo to show off side-scrolling, which in its time was a huge freaking deal. It was the 3D of Mario 64 level, like, oh my gosh, we don't have to go frame by frame by frame. So it was another thing, and that's probably it.
The reason why I bring this up is because if you look at Street Fighter and SNK, or Capcom and SNK with cabinets back in the day, right? Mm-hmm. Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, or let's just say Neo Geo cabinets, were easier to produce or cheaper to produce in general compared to Capcom cabinets. And the arcade areas or like laundromats or anything that could buy these cabinets ended up being like Latin America. That's why SNK is so popular in Latin America, right? It inadvertently, Latin America became the audience for SNK. Inadvertently. It wasn't a target audience. It was inadvertently because it was cheaper. That's why KOF and like Fatal Fury is so big in Latin America, bigger than Street Fighter or Tekken or anything else. This is kind of what I'm like tying Doki Doki into, is because maybe Japan saw something like, hey, we have an audience in the Middle East.
Are we still talking about the Middle East connection?
I don't think that's it. I think they honestly, that aesthetic was popular in Japan.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying. Like I think we are on the same plane now.
They were trying to make something that would connect with the Middle Eastern market. I don't know if they had distribution there just yet. I mean, worldwide distribution is a fairly new thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could say like there are some animes and some cartoons of that time that aesthetic. The most prominent that we'd know in America is the second season of Sailor Moon, where the Moonlight Knight was the hero, and he was like an Arabian, had that Arabian Night garb thing going on. So that was popular there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I legitimately think this Doki Doki in its original form was aimed at Japanese audiences, and they had it was with Fuji Television, who might have been wanting to develop a TV property on it. It worked as a side-scrolling game. Nintendo had their hand in it. Shigeru Miyamoto worked on it, and they're like, "Hey, let's throw this to America let's hack this and throw it to America."
Yeah.
How many fans on some level Mario 2 is the forgotten game. And I wonder if the Japanese even know really all about it, the American version. But
they released it as Mario USA. It actually had a pretty big resurgence there.
Could you imagine though, like if they wanted to get trending on Twitter during E3, show like the next Mario game, have Wart as the bad guy, people would go. There would be a large section, a large minority going crazy.
Dude, I mean, he would. I actually want Link's Awakening 2 for the Switch, where Wart is the main bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the first game.
Yeah, but he wasn't a bad guy then, really.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, his world got destroyed. Of course, he's pissed at Link.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lore. There's the lore right there.
There's your lore, David.
So yeah, that's what goes on in my mind. So thanks for entertaining that, because there's always these like deep layers of like I need to get to the root of this. So because there's always something afoot, man. Always.
There's always something afoot. Yeah, and so we can co-write the Doki Doki Panic Guide for America later. We'll set that up. So
yeah, I'm thinking about it.
So actually, that'd be interesting for them to release on Switch Online. Is just the original Doki Doki Panic, but I think there are some like racial caricatures that kind of they wouldn't want to bring over here, if I understand correctly.
True. Point.
And so that leads me to talk about shawarma. Like, if you guys, I'm just kidding,
Dude. No, like there is a vending machine in Maryland that sells shawarma.
I don't know if I'd want shawarma from a vending machine though.
I don't either.
Or sushi.
But it is in this really random shopping center. There's like a GameStop there. That's how I found it, and it's just in like this weird alley. And I've like looked at it, and apparently I will say they're frozen, so you have to heat them up. But it sells frozen shawarma.
hey, at least you know that foodborne illness is kind of ruled out because they're frozen, right? So
Yeah. So,
God, that's interesting because
You can still get foodborne illnesses and frozen stuff.
That's true, and of course, this is coming from manager Ken right now, so
Yeah.
it's fresh on your mind,
Like,
dude.
if anyone knows foodborne illness, it's the manager of a Taco Bell.
You'd be surprised. We're actually like, I'm not trying to like talk my company up or anything, but we're very like health conscious on this stuff.
That's good.
I
What's
would
like
assume every major national chain
Yeah.
really needs to be, or
It's like-
there's a
it's like shocking how like
what's like a cutthroat thing that we wouldn't expect health wise that goes in the kitchen? That's like, no, you got to throw that out because whatever. Like
literally there are certain things that like every single day I open the restaurant, I have to go and make sure like all the expirations haven't like expired, and whether or not it's thawing food or just like tomatoes or something. And because like the three things that will expire the quickest, because you can you buy like on a truck, like I need a certain amount of product to keep my restaurant going, but lettuce, tomatoes, onions, those are the three things that you can only buy so much of because it's going to expire. And if you even think about serving something that's expired, at your house, you're like, oh yeah, this milk's expired 3 days ago, I'll chance it. But you even entertain the idea of allowing expired product in your restaurant, you can get fired, period. Like,
hey, that's
it's
cool.
Right at midnight, throw that stuff out. So there you go.
good. And lettuce, onion, tomato. That's like 5/6 of every item on Taco Bell.
Oh yeah. So like you have to like. So there'll be times when you just run out of stuff because you're like, oh well. I mean, you don't run out. You go to another store or this, and then I know that like cold items can be actually out of 32 to 39 degrees temp for 4 hours. But if it is out for 4 hours, you got to toss it. Just
What is the lettuce shredded for you guys, or do you guys have to shred it?
it's shredded.
Oh my God, we're going down a rabbit hole. John, take it somewhere. Go.
Now this is the Taco Bell hour.
The Taco Bell
We're not
lore.
getting
Really
to
great
Taco
carne
Bell lore.
asada. No.
We are not
Iceberg.
getting into Taco Bell lore.
Oh wait, so I made some really great carne asada out of the Street Fighter cookbook. See what we did there? I like tied it into the thing. So, Devin, man, like you've been a little quiet tonight. Like, have you picked up anything cool lately? Mr. Collectibles.
Last week.
Nothing since last week. Did anyone else? Did anyone get Monster Hunter Stories?
I did.
Have you played it yet?
It's still in the wrapping, damaged, but albeit
I lied. I did manage to get an order for the 3 amiibo, so I'm happy with that. But I
I
still
think mine shipped, so I need to check them out
Yeah.
downstairs. So
I
mine's
ordered
supposed to be shipped too, but I'm
Can-
waiting to use its
can we just like
shop right bag.
commend? I don't know if it's GameStop or Nintendo because those amiibo were up for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
That was a lot easier. I was sitting in a GameStop parking lot like 40 minutes before they opened.
So was I. I
And
was
then I like looked at my phone. I'm like, oh, these are live.
click,
you were off Friday, JB?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I work on Sundays, so that's kind of the thing. I get to play around a little bit
Yeah, but
more.
you do more than just work on Sundays. But you're 20 hours, right?
2025. Yeah. So I set my schedule. Like I it's a very fluid thing. So yeah, I generally this is irrelevant to what's going on in the podcast. It allowed me to go get Monster Hunter Collector's Edition and come down to South Carolina for the Southeast Game Exchange, which was amazing.
Are you in South
Is it-
Carolina right now?
I'm actually in North Carolina. I drove halfway back, and I stopped at this lovely Holiday Inn Express because I didn't want to miss the show. That's my commitment, and I was tired, and I didn't want to drive anymore.
Wait,
Look at that,
Okay, wait a
Ken.
second. I'm not aware of what's going on right now with you. Like,
Basically, I'm on the run from the law, and we need to stop talking about it. So let's go back to Taco Bell.
did you
You
like?
just see the SWAT bus behind JB.
So you left
Uh,
your home in Washington to go to a video game convention.
Yes.
What was so special about this video game convention?
What?
Why did you go to this video game
it's a
convention?
video game convention. What other?
How far away? How like hours? I mean, long enough that you need
It's
a
an
hotel.
8-hour drive.
Huh?
It's about an 8-hour drive. The reason I went to that one, A, it was the first one I've heard about that since the pandemic. B, when I lived in Atlanta, it was one I always wanted to go to, and just the things never lined up for me to be able to go to it. And I had sold a lot of stuff, and I wanted to pick up a very big item that I had hoped to add to the collection, and also wanted to meet a lot of like YouTubers. I got a chance to meet some awesome YouTubers. I met y'all's boy Russ Lyman. He was there. Met J Love, 8-Bit Glitch 79, Do You Nerd. Just a lot of cool people that I talked to online.
Did you get a big item that you wanted?
Yes, I did. Do you want to see that big item? Oh wait, I'll show you guys after we. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, it is Castlevania Dracula X for the Super Nintendo, and I wanted that in the collection, and now it is there. And I also won a bunch of things to make David proud. I entered a JRPG trivia contest and came in second.
Awesome, dude. What was the question that took you out?
I can't shoot. I don't remember. Like I was tied going into the last question. They had to do a tiebreaker round, and the way they were doing it was they were reading things off. The questions were they were reading things off the back of the box, and we had to tell what game it was. And the thing that really kept tripping me up is they were doing a lot of PS3 stuff, and I don't know PS3. I did get pretty much anything from the PlayStation 1 back and a lot of modern stuff. But I want a CD as my consolation prize of the Persona 4 Arena soundtrack. I could have won a copy of Scarlet Nexus, so that was sad to walk away from. But hey,
What was the question that you were proud you got right?
it was music. So there were two categories: back of the box and then music. And I correctly identified a song from Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy 12.
Nice.
Very cool.
That Final Fantasy.
What was the coolest cosplay? I gotta blow my nose, so I'm taking myself off camera.
Coolest cosplay. There were a few cosplays here and there. It was not something I was keeping an eye out. Russ Lyman and one of his friends was doing 8-bit style Freddy Krueger and Jason. So Purple Jason, 8-bit Steve. I also picked up this book by 8-bit Steve, which is How to Beat Friday the 13th the Easy Way. I just thought it'd be funny to have a guide for the Nintendo version of Friday the 13th. So picked that up. That was pretty cool. I picked up a disc-only copy of Silent Hill Origin for the PSP. So
That's
Just
another one of those copies I still need.
yeah. So, but yeah, it was awesome. Great panels. Women in Retro Collecting was an awesome panel. Retro Collecting, and then Gaming Off the Grid did a panel, which is a pretty cool YouTube channel. If you're not following them, you should. But yeah, that's I wanted to see people.
Wait a minute. Women play video games? Back up a minute.
Oh my god!
You would be surprised. I was like, I'm not gonna say things. I was gonna say something sarcastic. I'm like, people might not get that that's sarcastic, so I'm just gonna take that and rewind it back and say, yes, women play video games. They do all kinds of things. Several women went
like
to
cook and
Spain.
clean, right?
No, like they actually play like Mario. They play like Mario, man. Like I thought they only got to play the Barbie games. Like I thought when a girl put a regular game into the Nintendo, it actually would not work. But I'll be damned.
Wait.
Like they can turn it on and everything. It's
Back up. I've told this story before, but I don't know if Bandana ever told it. You know what video game got me into collecting video games?
Barbie something.
Barbie something.
Yeah, Barbie. What was it? Horse, like something Barbie. My Horse and Me Gold Edition. That is the game. Like so,
Nice.
like I can make fun of like girly games all I want, but like that is the video game that started the whole path. Now I played video games before, but as a collector, it was my Horse and Me Barbie Gold Collection something.
I have a Barbie game on the Wii U that I've done a playthrough on my channel, so make sure to check that out.
Nice, man. Like,
It's like Barbie Grand Theft Auto. like apparently you're going around rescuing puppies, but you can like get on a random vehicle and it's open world Barbie.
Is it really open world Barbie?
For a very small publisher, I mean, it's basically open world, but it's also a very small publisher, like developer that just paid a lot of money to get a license. They thought was small.
Rockstar did it, right?
Oh yeah, Rockstar.
Could you imagine? What if Rockstar, like, could you imagine, like, these weird combos that would be just, like, you'd have to play it? Rockstar Barbie,
Rockstar Barbie.
Rockstar.
Red Dead Barbie.
An actual open world Barbie game from Rockstar. Yeah, you would have to. Like, we would all be forced to buy it.
Rockstar did an N64 game, right? It was like something that's kind of similar to Blast Core.
Does anyone else feel really disappointed in themselves when David asks a question that, like, I feel like I should know, but I don't?
I don't know what he's
hold
talking
on.
about.
Yeah.
The last thing I remember Rockstar doing without Grand Theft Auto was Manhunt.
I feel like
And Bully.
Bully.
Yeah,
Oh, they made Armorines Project. Apparently, Armorines.
I think it was a company that was essentially like Rockstar devs or something like that.
Yeah, Armorines. It was published by Acclaim, but I think developed by Rockstar before they got super big.
Body Harvest. That's what it is.
So,
You guys played that?
It's on the N64.
Have you guys played it?
No.
No, gotcha. I forgot. You're an anti N64 stand.
Unless it's wrestling, it's not worth playing on the N64.
Woo!
I said it. I won't take
Devin is like, I'm not even going to entertain this.
That's because Devin's like, Nintendo 64. There's 64 of them? I love Nintendo.
No, really. Nintendo 64 is so
The only thing that would be
man.
better if it was Nintendo 65.
I love that so much.
What's so good about the PlayStation 1?
Woo!
Like, why is the PlayStation 1 so much better? What, it didn't have,
Third-party
it didn't
support and all the
have
amazing games that
Final
came
Fantasy
out.
7, man. Come on.
okay,
Final
Zelda,
Fantasy
or Ocarina of Time.
Final Fantasy 7, Mega Man 8, Legend of Dragoon,
Mega Man 8.
Mega Man X4.
What was so good about Mega Man 8? What,
It's
it
the
was
8th
combination?
one. It's better than the 7th one. Come on.
Yeah, that's like the same game that there's 5 of them on the NES. Who cares?
Suikoden 2.
Conan, what is that? Like, is that like
No,
dinner?
Lazy
Was that last
RPG.
night's dinner?
Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, there was a Metal Gear game on it. Right.
It's a far better system.
I Honda.
I just named like there's nothing approaching the quality.
I can name video games too.
Yeah, can you name as good ones that are on the N64? Because no,
Yeah.
no,
Mario.
no.
Smash Brothers, Mario Kart.
Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, Crash is overrated. Let's be honest.
Take
Yeah,
it.
Crash is overrated.
The action happens in the last 10 minutes of the podcast.
Let's
dude.
just be honest. Crash is a poor man's Sonic, who's a poor man's Mario.
Oh, David, now he's bringing you into it. Now you want to like.
Wow.
David's about to
Let's
whip out a
just
switchblade.
let's throw it all on the table here, guys.
They stop fighting, guys. Stop fighting.
If I was a toxic Sonic fan like I was 10 years ago, maybe I would have taken you up on that.
David, bring that guy out. Bring that guy out right now. He's still there. I know it.
Oh, Ken, dude.
Kids like, oh my god. Like, no, the PlayStation 1 library is clearly more superior. I mean, it's
well,
just-
maybe they have more shovelware. I agree with you.
Ooh.
I agree. They have a lot more shovelware. I mean, isn't that Mosquito game on the
Grand Theft
PS1?
Auto. Oh, are we gonna start throwing like crap games? Because there's Nintendo.
Okay,
has
you got
some
Superman.
hardware.
You got Superman. I'll grant you that. Let's just throw that the elephant in the room. Superman.
So did we. We had 64 had Superman. 64.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. The N64 had Superman.
Well, PS1 also had Conker's 3D or something like that. I forget what it was. No, not Conker. Bubsy 3D.
Bugsy 30.
I mean, there's crap games on every console.
I'm just saying the PS1 isn't like as great as you think it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh well, okay. Excuse me.
The N60. Excuse me. I'm now pulling up a list of great PlayStation games.
Yeah, you keep searching. It's probably on page 3 of Google.
It's an article
because it's
JB
so far
wrote.
down there.
Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal 2, Twisted Metal 3. I won't say 4 because 4 was kind of garbage. I'll admit that they took that one too far. Oh my god, it's this nonsense won't.
We had Orc Battle 64.
Nintendo 64.
We had Orc Battle 64.
Only good thing on Nintendo 64 was wrestling. Mario 64 was okay.
Ocarina of Time.
Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Zelda was
Most
amazing,
overhyped
dude.
game in history.
No,
Most overhyped game.
you
It's a
know what?
good
You want to
game.
know what's overhyped? Honestly, I'm gonna say it. Final Fantasy VII. I spent many years not playing that game, wondering what it was all about. Everyone telling me this. So finally it comes to the Nintendo Switch. I'm like, I'm going to see what this is. I'm going to see these awesome graphics. Dude, it's...
Oh, you played it on the Switch looking for it to have great graphics?
Dude,
it's a 30-year-old game.
his elbows were like tennis balls.
And that was amazing when it came out.
And so was Ocarina of Time.
Street Fighter. All the Street Fighters moved over to...
What about the
Oh,
Mortal
Street Fighter.
Kombat?
Street Fighter 2 is the only one that matters, and that was on the Super NES.
What about
Street
Siphon
Fighter
Filter?
2 is the only one that matters in that franchise.
All right, we're in the,
Alpha, the Street Fighter Alpha series is far superior than Street Fighter 2.
Why? Because Ryu can punch quicker?
No, because the animation's better, the hyper moves are added, and the
So
animation looks like...
now the animation
beautiful.
matters, but for Final Fantasy VII it doesn't.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying, like, in its time, it was amazing.
Well, in its time, the N64 was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah.
Or did we just said it was a Nintendo thing, and we all got devined?
Shut up, John.
Spyro the Dragon. That's another one. Tomb Raider.
Dragon. There's another game I
Tomb Raider.
played the other day.
Oddworld.
It was like
Oddworld.
my
Wipeout.
Oddworld.
7-year-old
the Rapper.
beat
Drop
Spyro.
the-
My 7-year-old thought Spyro was boring.
I'm sorry you raised your children poorly. I don't know what to do there. We're gonna like start saying like I'm realizing now I'm insulting your children. I need to take a step back.
No, don't worry. You're insulting my parent. You're insulting my parenting. I forget. We're good.
I will say like this is like I'm really proud that we like have now recovered fully from that like shutdown of the meeting that we got to this point. And this is I'm having fun. I don't know if anyone watching is having fun.
All I'm saying, if you want to take shots at the N64, shots fired. But I'm coming at the PS1.
We need that. Me and you need to make that video.
do we need
Like,
to get
we're
60
now-
in here, dude, and get like
oh God,
a
yes, bring 60.
final verdict? Because he's anti-Reggie. Oh, we'll say
Yeah,
that.
like he's not. Yeah, mean.
He's
60,
not biased towards Ken in any way.
No, I remember the one time. I remember it was like he started talking crap about Reggie, and like it didn't click with me because I thought every human liked Reggie until like 5 minutes into his speech. I'm like, wait a second, does this guy not like Reggie? F this guy.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Sorry, I need to drop
Fantastic
that.
game.
I need to drop that. I need to.
I'm not
just
saying the PS1 didn't have good third-party games.
I mean, I want like if you want to say like, did the Nintendo 64 have a better lineup of first-party published games? Yes.
Okay.
Well, I say, do I believe the strength of third-party support that Sony was able to garner because Nintendo had been acting like a-holes made the system superior? Yes.
Well, let's just say that maybe the Nintendo 64 is overhyped, and so is the PS1.
We agree that the Nintendo 64 is overhyped.
I said maybe. I said maybe, actually. I did say definitely the PS1, though.
Oh gosh, man.
And on that note, it is 8 o'clock, and it is time to get going. Do you guys have anything you want
to make these videos where me and you just yell at each other for 50 minutes?
Like, no, you're wrong, and you suck for having that opinion.
Do you guys have anything to add or you want to say? For the record, we're allowed to have disagreements, and it's all in good fun. So don't worry. Like, even though Bandana is definitely clearly wrong, but is there anything else you guys wanted to say? Throw out there.
Screw you guys! I'll build my own casino. No, but as always, it is a pleasure to be in this space with you guys and talk video games and dance and revel in our passion.
Very true.
David?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
Can't top
good,
that.
good input. Good input.
Way to add to the show, bro.
Right. Devin, anything you want to throw out there?
Nope, all good.
All right. Calfman does say PlayStation was way better than the the 64. It would play music CDs and had a BA screensaver for listening to music. So, okay, granted, the PlayStation had a screensaver. I guess that's all it takes to be a better video game system. I guess I lose. All right, though. Catman, Hunter, everyone, Pesty, it was good seeing you guys. Christian Sims, it's a pleasure. We'll be back here 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday. And, yeah, see you guys. Have a good one. And, yeah. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we